My name's Crispin. I run Regent Sounds. I'm the manager here. I have been for 5 years.
Okay, well, my name's Andrew Cooper. I basically run 2 music shops in Denmark Street that have originally been in Denmark Street for about 23 years.
Okay, well, my name's Adam Newman. I work here at Vintage and Rare Guitars. I've done for about 11, 12 years, 9 years on this particular site.
Basically, as far as I'm aware, it started very much like sort of New York's Brill Building.
But this was where all the music publishers were pretty much assigned to this area. So you find many people coming up and down Denmark Street with music that they wanted to get published. And they would actually quite literally knock on doors on Denmark Street to different publishers and see if they could get any of the publishing rights signed off for their music. So in essence that goes back to what was in the States with Tin Pan Alley as well. That was a publishing site that also Denmark Street got nicknamed Tin Pan Alley.
Firstly, before the music shops were here, the guitar shops that is, it's always been since the war a meeting place for musicians, writers at first. It started off as there was a lot of publishing houses here. That's where you got all the songwriters coming in.
And what you'd have is a lot of people touting songs around all the publishing houses, trying to get money for a song, trying to sell a song. Once publishers thought it was a good song, they'd buy it and then they'd sell it to various different other people and try and make money on it, try and make it into a hit, sell it to the right artist to make a hit. One of the terms that basically came from, you've probably heard the old grey whistle test story. The old grey whistle test was quite a famous British programme live in the 70s, the equivalent of like modern day Jules Holland show, you know, where you have lots of bands playing live. And the old grey whistle test, it was called that after Denmark Street, which was where the old publishers used to say, if you could whistle the tune, if a tune came into the shop and someone was selling you a song, if the melody was good, you could whistle it, that was it, they'd buy the song. Sing us a song tonight. We're all in the mood for a melody. You got us feeling alright.
Elton John wrote your song up on the roof, you know, just sat there, penning away, and that's where that song was written, up just across the street, number 19, I think it was.
The Stones were one of the first bands to come in and record an album. Regent Sounds was originally set up as a sort of demo studio. The story goes that Mick Jagger said that to the owner of the studio at the time, if we come in and we record an album, we want to do it for free. But if we do it and it's a hit and the album is a success, then we'll record another album. Entrepreneurial. You know. So the idea is that that's how it went, and basically they ended up recording the first album here and a few sort of singles and B-sides, and then half of the first EP after that, and then they never came back.
This address, 6 Denmark Street, is where they used to record and live, you know, hang out and crash out. In the back, behind the shop, is a small, I suppose it used to be stables back in the day, but it's just like a 2-floor, 2-room building. And there's still the original graffiti in there though, from when they were in there. Because when Glenn Matlock, the original bass player, left, he wallpapered over the walls, so if anyone came in, they wouldn't just paint. If they painted the walls, they wouldn't destroy the graffiti. Well, through here we get you know, quite a lot. We've got up on the wall here. There's some of them left their names in. Everyone from Jimmy Page, Noel Gallagher,
Colin Farrell, Colin Firth, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp has been spotted. In fact, I did actually serve him and didn't recognise him. I have a terrible neck of not being able to spot the obvious ones.
As far as the old rock stars, you see Paul McCartney's been down the street, Jeff Beck's been down a few times, obviously comes in. I've never seen Eric Clapton here, apparently he's been here. Gary Moore comes down quite a lot.
Now this is just a sort of generic guitar we used to sell acoustic guitars that we had in the shop, and any time anybody came in who we felt deserved to go on there as such, famous wines, we'd get them to sign it. So there's quite a few names on here. This really big squealy one here is Ozzy Osbourne, which is quite nice. Underneath him is Jules Holland. On here somewhere is Robbie Williams. We've got Chris Rea, Roy Harper, DJ Sarah Cox, and somewhere on there is Pierce Brosnan as well. One of the most recent ones that I made a mistake was one morning we had a gentleman, quite a tall gentleman, come downstairs, very well dressed, or very well spoken. I wasn't quite with it at the time in the mornings, I'm not that good. He asked for a harmonica mic, which I duly managed to say to him, look, here you go, that's your mic. And he asked me why it had a volume on it. I said, well, basically, you know, when you're playing your pub gigs, you can turn the volume down if you want to talk to the rest of your mates in the band without being picked up. He said, oh, and he threw me a very, very strange look. And I looked back at him and I thought, I kind of know who you are, but I don't. Anyway, he came to pay for it. It was Robert Plant.
Hey, mama, said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove.
Denmark Street, Tin Pan Alley was a disappeared. It's a lot of history in Denmark Street.
This street has offered a lot to people over the years. I think it's been a great place for people to come and try things out, to get an idea. It's a continuation of the old Charing Cross Road tradition, and I think in that respect it's great it's still here.
I think if you look at the comparison of America was, you know, where rock and roll really was invented and started. You know? But the British certainly weren't far behind. You know, when you think of classic rock and roll music, it's always, or the majority anyway, is American or English.
And I think, you know, there'd be a whole community lost, because I've seen bands grow from being nobodies to big bands. I mean, Oasis probably bought one of their first guitars off myself. We didn't know who Oasis were. Nixon, the Gallaghers are global rock stars as such. And they still come back here. I'm sure if we weren't here, they'd have to go somewhere else. I mean, you have to. You've got needs as a musician as you do in any other industry, so you would have to find somewhere else to go. I don't think you'd get the spirit of going to somewhere out of town, perhaps, on an industrial estate, like some of the bigger American companies have these big warehouse stores. There's no real feeling. They're too big. This is quite a small crux industry down here. You know, as I say, we'll get on with each other, so we'll run people across and lend stuff to each other if we can help them out. And it's very close knit. So to lose that, I think would be quite a shame amongst everything else.